Let me click on the actual box. That would help, wouldn't it? Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I have up here the title of our webinar today. So just to make sure you're in the right place, this is our Getting Started with ScreenPal webinar. So this will get you your ScreenPal Level 1 certification, if that's what you're also looking for. Really excited to have everyone. If you will take a second to share in the chat where you are coming from, that is one of my favorite parts of a webinar to see where everybody is joining us from. We've got Alabama. Ooh, Braintree. What a fun town name. Massachusetts, Southwest Ohio, Wilson, NC. I taught in Wake County, Melissa, right down the road from you. St. Louis, Missouri, the Netherlands. Ooh, I always love. Ooh, Aiken, South Carolina. Tracy, I'm in Augusta, about 45 minutes from you now. We've got Nigeria, the UK. Oh, this is one of my favorite things. Paris, France. Oh, Bay Area. That's where my colleague Ben is from as well here. And Rachel, for the certificate for attending, you will get the certificate for that. At the end of the webinar, we'll put up a survey for you to fill out, and I will also share that in the email from today's webinar too. So, ooh, we got Argentina, another Your Life is My Vacation situation. Lots of those today as it got cold in Georgia here. I'm excited to see some of you guys hopefully enjoying better weather than I have. All right, so I will go on and kick us off because we have a lot to cover over the next hour. You guys are actually getting 2 hours worth of training or credit, if you will, in this 1 hour block. So it was a great idea on your part to come to our Getting Started webinar so that you can get 2 hours worth chunked into one little 1 hour block today. So thank you for joining us. Um, my name is Sarah Eiler. I am ScreenPal's Community Engagement Manager. My friend Ben is in the chat. He runs our customer success team. So he will be here to answer any questions that you might have during today's webinar. If we don't get to your question, please feel free to email us support@screenpal.com. And then my email is sarah@screenpal.com if you would like to email me there as well. So, all right, let's kick it off today. Yes, we will. Just a reminder, you will get access to the recording after the webinar. And somebody said 2 hours of what exactly? Well, Gary, it's funny you should ask that. Here is our agenda. So it will be 2 hours of learning how to record, edit, and share. Well, we're only doing 1 hour. Sorry, 2 hours worth. Again, this is not 2 hours. This is 1 hour. Record, edit, and share accessible content using ScreenPal. So we're going to talk from the very beginning, how to sign into your account, how to download the ScreenPal app, starting the recorder, annotating your screen while recording, editing that video using our ScreenPal app, uploading to screenpal.com, and then using those awesome AI features for accessibility, also creating a quiz and sharing it with your learners. And like I said, ScreenPal AI to ensure accessibility. So we have quite a bit to get through. But I am very excited to walk you through all of this today. I'm going to stay on the slides just for a few more slides, and then we will look at some live things on the app and on our screenpal.com website. So for logging in, since there is a couple of different ways that you can log in, and oh, I should have mentioned, if you scan the QR code, you should see it in the bottom corner there, or you type in that bit.ly, you'll be able to view our slide presentation and you can then make a copy of the slides. And Ben just shared the link in the chat as well. So please utilize the slide presentation as much or as little as you would like while we're together today. So to sign in, I sign in with Google because we have Google accounts. You can also sign up with Apple or sign up with your email address. That is completely up to you. If you have logged in before, which is our number 2 image that you see here on the screen, you're going to type in that email or click sign in with Google or click sign in with Apple. If it shows you this screen, you can, and you haven't actually created an account, you've got down there at the bottom, no account, create one as the option. So if you want to kind of follow along as we create today, I would recommend going on and setting up that account. It is free to make an account and free to download the application. So you can do all of that while we're here together today, and a majority of the features that I'm going to talk about for free as well. So after you create your account, you're going to want to install the ScreenPal desktop app. You can do some editing online as well now. We do have a specialty webinar focused on that in February, so we'll share that option with you later. But what you want to do is install the desktop app, and then from screenpal.com, once you've installed that app, you can then click that create button and select to launch the recorder and follow your prompts there. You can actually just go to screenpal.com and click create. And when you try to launch the recorder, if you don't have the app yet, it will ask you to install the app. So pretty easy as far as how to install. But we just wanted to make sure that you guys were all ready to go and that you could get that installed while we're together today. If you have any questions about installing the app or any issues logging in, just let Ben know in the chat and he can help you through any of that process. All right, so let's hop right into our recording. So we're going to talk about how to record a video using ScreenPal. Right, so at this point, although I love my slide presentation, I no longer need her. But you know what I will do is I will actually use it as my thing that I'm going to record. So a lot of you guys are probably using slide presentations in instruction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my next slide since it actually has some bullet points on it here, and minimize all of our Zoom goodness. And then I'm going to go to my ScreenPal app, which is here in my menu bar, and I'm going to click on record. So this is going to launch my recorder, and my recorder is going to record anything in this black and white dotted frame. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to drag the white corners of that frame to encompass the information in my slide presentation. Okay, so you can change that size of your screen. There's also some size options. We've got some preset sizes if you'd like. You can just automatically go to full screen. That is completely up to you. Now you can do your screen, your camera, or both your screen and camera. I'm going to select both. And it's picking up my FaceTime camera, which is a little bit catty-cornered to where my Zoom is here. So if you needed to change that setting, you could really quickly select a different camera by clicking on the settings there where your camera is and changing your camera. And of course, you can move that. So like this is a little bit in the way of my text that I have on my slide. So what I might do is just move my camera over here into the top left corner for my recording. All right. Now you can also make sure that it's picking up your narration. I can see my little green bars populating here, flashing while I'm talking. If you needed to change your microphone, you could do that there. You can also turn on and off your computer audio. So if I were going to press play on a video on my screen and I wanted to make sure that that computer audio was part of my recording, I could click computer audio there. And then once all of your settings are ready to go, you're just going to click on record. All right, so this is how you use our ScreenPal recorder here. You can open the project manager, then click record in the top right corner of the application window. Make sure that you look at all of those settings like your sizing, your microphone, using the canvas to select a background before recording. Then you simply click the big red record button, the countdown begins, and everything in your frame is captured. So if I want to pause while I'm recording, I can click on my pause button there. I'm going to make sure that my annotation tools are turned on this time so I can show you how to annotate. And then I'm going to pick up recording right where I left off. So by clicking this record button again, when I clicked pause, it didn't stop my recording and automatically start uploading it somewhere else where now I have to figure out what two recordings I utilized. I can just click on record and it's going to continue right where I left off. So I'm going to click on record again here. And I've got my annotation toolbar up here so I can mark up my screen. Make sure you bring a ruler to class tomorrow. And then you can simply undo that. You've also got the option to highlight on your screen. So we'll do a fun little purple thick highlighter here so I can highlight any of that information. You can see it a little bit better on my computer there. And then again, you can just use your undo button. You've also got an erase button. I tend to navigate to the undo button. It's a little bit quicker for me, but it does have an eraser option here. You can change your eraser size. And then I've also got a text box. So I could say, welcome to today's training. And if I wanted to change that background color, I would just click on my notch here. I can change, let's do text color in white, background color in pink, of course. If you know me, you know I love some pink. And I'm going to scroll down because a lot of us might be working in a situation where we have a branded font that we want to use. So I'm going to scroll down to the R's because our font is Roboto. So I can change that to my brand's approved font as well. And I've also got a shape option here. We'll do a star because all stars drag to resize their recording frames. And then I've also got a pan and zoom option, so I can click on my magnifying glass. I can zoom in to really emphasize to my learners. All you have to do is click the big red record button. And then once I'm done with my recording, oh, let me see. Let's reset my zoom here. There we go. Once I'm done with my recording, I would just end that recording there. Oh, I always forget that I have to exit my drawing. Exit your drawing. And if you're freaking out that your pause button didn't show up like me, it's because you didn't exit your drawing. So pause that there, and then I've got my 2 minute and 37-second recording ready to go. Now, what you can do with your recording from here is you can delete it and restart if you want. You can edit, open that recording in our video editor. You can save the file to your device, and you can also upload that to ScreenPal.com and immediately copy a link to share. What I'm going to do today is open that in my video editor since we are going to want to edit our video. Now, another thing that you can do is you can change your background during that recording process. I am going to, oops, it won't let me do it because it's Zoom. There you go. Come on, you. Oh my goodness. Okay. I am going to change the background though post recording, which is an option as well. So I'm going to click on my webcam, and if I maybe want to remove that blur, I can remove that blur, or I can add any other virtual background here. And then we even now have visual settings where you can adjust the enhancement, the brightness, the hue, the saturation, etc. So I'm going to do none. So you can see it's removing that blur. And if you're wondering what that is in the corner of my camera, it is in fact a play tent for my 4-year-old, a Frozen themed play tent. If anybody else's 4-year-old is in their Frozen and Disney princess era, mine is very firmly in hers. But I can remove the background or add a background as needed. I'm going to click on OK there. And that's post recording, right? So I can do that while I'm recording, and I can also do that after I finish my recording, which I love because sometimes I'll be recording something at home and my dog will walk behind me, and then I can really quickly edit my background as needed. So very easy to do those things as you are recording your videos. Okay, so now I am in my video editor, which is our application. But to give us all a second to figure out where we are and kind of come together and make sure that we're all on the same page. We've gone over quite a few of our recording features. So I would like to know if you'll respond in the chat which you are the most excited about. Is it the drawing tools option, being able to pause and pick back up while you're recording? Is it that virtual background that I briefly showed you there? Or is it that you can immediately upload to ScreenPal and quickly share out a link with your learners? This always like tickles me because somebody will say everything. So thank you, Liz, for saying everything. I feel the same way. I just want to do all of it. But we've got a lot of pause while recording. We've got video quick share in here. Awesome. So I love to see all of those answers. Thank you guys for participating with me in our forced engagement for today's session. Ooh, and Ben made a great point. He loves using the quick share, as does our support team. If you ever need to send a quick video explanation, or a quick video response, or a quick video message. All right. Okay. Awesome sauce. All right, we're going to go back into our editing tools because who just said that? Zara said, "Can you show some of the editing tools?" Well, yes, I can, Zara. Absolutely. I am really excited to show you guys some of these. All right. So again, I edited my video, excuse me, I recorded my video, and now I'm in my ScreenPal desktop app to make my edits. Okay, so I'm going to click here for enter video project name. We're going to say getting started. And let's see, it is January 14th. So I'm going to put 114 there. Okay, so I just went on and entered a quick little title there. And my first edit that I'm going to do is a blur overlay. So let's say that I am recording how to log into an application. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think the whole world needs to know my personal email address. So what I can do is I can click here on Tools, Overlay, and then select Blur. So I'm going to blur out. Let's pretend that this is my email address here. Okay. So I'm going to blur out that section of my screen. And then, of course, this will show up for 3 seconds. Excuse me. If I need to increase the amount of time, I can just drag on this blue dot and increase as needed. If you know that you need to increase in a 1 second interval, you can click on the up arrow or decrease using the down arrow. And this one has flat edges. See where my blue line is? And you can see these flat edges here. That denotes that this element does not have a transition added to it. So if I wanted for my blur to transition in or out, I could select in, select what type of transition I wanted. In the case of a blur, you just have a fade option. And you saw that my blue, as of now, my blue overlay here has slanted edges. That's how I know that this has transitions on the front and back end of my blur. Now to preview my edit, I'm going to click on the triangle and open the project manager, then click record in the top right corner of the application window. There's my blur, and you saw my fade out there at the end if you were paying attention to where the blur was on the screen. And once I am good to go with that blur in my video, I would just click on OK to accept my edit. Now this blur shows up as yellow in my video timeline. All of my overlay tools are going to show up as yellow. This is a really great visual reminder of what's in your video, and what makes this even easier for me is that when I click on that yellow blur, I see an icon that denotes blur. If you forget that that little teardrop means blur, don't worry. You can just hover right there over the icon and see what's included in that portion of the video. Click back on that icon and make your edits to the icon, and edit your blur as needed. Okay, So that's our first of a few edits that we're going to go over. One thing that makes my life easier when I'm editing a video is to go through and let's say I know that I want to add text boxes throughout the video. I might add all the text boxes in one like editing swoop here. So one editing session, I'm at all of my text boxes because it's going to denote here in the video timeline your last used edit. So you see it has plus blur. That's because I just added a blur to my video. All right. Another one of my favorite overlays that I use a lot is the highlight overlay. So I'm going to select Tools, Overlay, and then Highlight. This is one of my favorites, especially if I'm using a slide presentation with multiple points on it, because what this does is it highlights. So right now I'm talking in the video about what I blurred here. And what I'll probably talk about in just a second is these other 3 bullet points here. So I'm going to click on my cursor, drag and drop the portion that I want highlighted. I don't think I even talk about it for 5 seconds, but I'm going to drag that over just a little bit further. Okay, and we'll preview that one. So make sure that you look at all of those settings like your sizing, your microphone, using the canvas to. You can see I'm talking about that a little bit longer. So what I do is I just take this little blue guy and I just scoot him on over. Okay. And let's see. To select the background before recording, then you simply click the big red record. Oh, look at that, y'all. That was a glorious moment. The excitement at getting an edit right the first time is incomparable today. So what I did is I just dragged over that blue dot and I previewed that portion of the edit. And then if I need to change that, again, I can click right there on that edit. It's yellow because it's an overlay on top of my video. I can click on that highlight icon and edit the highlight. So just so that you know what that highlight looks like, when I press play, that blur is going to disappear and my highlight is going to appear. Application window, make sure that you look at all of those settings like your sizing, your microphone, using the canvas to select a background before recording. Then you simply click the big red record button. And so once I stopped talking about those features, my highlight disappeared from my video because I made that overlay appear for the correct amount of time that I was discussing those 3 bullet points there. Now, one thing with my highlight that I do want to mention is that you can zoom that highlight. This is one of our favorite things to do as well. If you want to like really emphasize what you're talking about, you can even add a zoom. So you would just click add zoom and then you're going to drag the corner of that highlight. So what it's going to do while you're talking about those 3 points is it's going to enlarge those 3 points and emphasize them even more for your learners to make sure that they're paying attention, which I taught 14-year-olds, as I mentioned during our webinar yesterday. So y'all know that I had to make sure they were paying attention. So what that'll look like when I start playing, window. So see, it's enlarging the highlight. Make sure that you look at all of those settings, like I'm not going to play that whole 10-second interval there, but you saw those points get larger on my screen to make sure that we were really paying attention to what I was discussing in the video at that point. So just a couple of extra clicks there. Again, I did highlight and then I added zoom and then I dragged that corner out to zoom in on that highlight and really emphasize that content for my learners. All right, another one of my favorite used overlays is a text overlay, of course. So I'm going to do Tools, Overlay, and at this point in my video, I'm discussing the big red record button. So I might want to emphasize that phrase for my learners. So I'm going to do text. I'm going to click here. I'm going to say big red record button. And of course, this needs to be red, right? I mean, it is a big red record button. So I'm going to leave my text as white, which you can see here. I've got text color as white. I'm going to change though my background color. And my favorite thing, I'm going to use red because it is the big red record button. But if you are like me and you are obsessive about like things being matchy-matchy, one of my favorite things is you can actually select this eyedropper, and I could go over to that same big red record button and make sure that my reds match. So if you are one of those people, that's an option for you as well. You can add a call out. So it could be like somebody talking during your video, if maybe you're doing a training with specific examples. And Nicole made a great point in the chat. That's great for custom brand colors, right? If you know, um, ooh, I used to have some of ours memorized, but if you're like, oh, I just want white and it's quicker for me to just type in F's all the way across, right? Because white is F, 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 F. Then you can go on and just type that in and have that custom color there ready to go. Or if your color is on the screen, your brand color's on the screen, then you can select that using the dropper. Now I'm going to drag the corner to make this a little bit smaller so that it fits in line with my text here. I'm going to even just put it right there on top of record to really grab some attention if that's where my learners are reading as I go over the slide. And then I'm going to just press play to preview my edit. Big red record button, the countdown begins, and everything in your frame is captured. I would just like to point out her timing, meaning me, is on point today, y'all. The timing. Can I get some applause for the timing here? I can't believe it. It's like, what a day. And I was just saying that I had a headache, and yet somehow my timing is pristine. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I've got my text box right there. If I need to make edits to that text, again, I'm just going to click on that overlay. I'm going to click on my text icon, and I can make changes to that text as needed. What typically happens, you guys have caught me on a good off day, is that I am constantly previewing my edit and dragging those little blue dots across the screen. Yet somehow that is not currently happening, and for that, I am eternally grateful. All right. Okay, so that was our text overlay. And another one of our favorites is also inserting a video, but I will come back to that one because we do have a request for hiding the cursor in the video. So let me show you that really quick. I'm going to click on my timeline here, and I'm going to click on Tools and then Hide. So this is how you hide that the cursor going across the screen, right? Your mouse cursor. So Tools, then Hide, and then Cursor. And then I can select a section to hide the cursor. So if I want to just kind of hide it through this section that I've edited thus far, if it's maybe a distraction, I can just drag that orange line over to hide my cursor for that 29-second interval and then press OK. And just to show you that it's hidden, I'm going to press play. Use our ScreenPal recorder here. And I'm a cursor moving gal, and you didn't see any cursor moving in that few seconds that we watched. So, and then if you wanted to reveal that cursor again, you would just click back on that orange portion, click on that cursor icon, and you could click on the trash can to delete that hidden portion, not the portion of video, to delete that hide cursor piece there. Another thing that I love to do is to insert videos. If you've ever been personally victimized as an educator or a trainer by standards changing, curriculum changing, I was constantly victimized because I taught history, and obviously history changes. We add history every single day. So one of my favorite things is that you can even insert portions of a video. So if I have an existing recording, and let's say I'm like, look, this whole presentation, this whole training, this whole lesson is great, except we've elected a new president since then, and I need to add a new president to my training, to my lesson. What I can do is I can click on insert. I could start a new recording at that point in the video. I could insert an existing project. So this would be a project that I have in my ScreenPal account. I can also insert a video file, which would be like an MP4 that I have downloaded on my personal device. I can pause or copy. So inserting a pause could be good if you're like, I just want to hold the video for 30 seconds so that my learners can digest what's happening in the video here. But I'm going to do an existing project, and then I'm going to add in this little three estates video that I made yesterday. Okay, and then the insert is going to happen wherever the bar is in my video. So I can just drag this over to reposition where that video inserts. And what it's going to do is pause my existing video at 34.96 seconds, play the video that I inserted, and then pick back up my existing video after that video is done. So of course it does take a few seconds for that to load. Okay, but you can see there's that video that I inserted has quite a few edits on it, of course. So I would just click on play just to show you that transition here. Toolbar up here so I can mark.
Hi, everyone.
Right, so there was my
Today we're taking a quick
original video, and now this is the video that I just inserted. And then just to scroll over to the end so that you can see it pick back up with the video that we created during today's session.
liberty, equality, and fraternity.
Mark up my screen. There it goes, right back where I stopped at that 36-second mark. I've got that 2-minute and some change video inserted and ready to go there. Now, if you decide maybe that video no longer applies to your content, you can click right there on that blue. So my video, anything that I insert is going to be blue. I can click right there on the blue. I can click on my insert icon, and I can remove the video that I inserted into my existing video. All right, and Kia put a great suggestion, which is this could be used as an in-video ad or a reminder during the video or something that you reveal to make it exciting for the video. And that was France, Sabina or Sabine, because I did a quick little video on the three estates as if I was teaching my students about the three estates in my class. All right, we did insert video. Now to cut the video. So if you want to make any cuts to your video, cut out something, then you would just click on anywhere on the timeline. You can cut anywhere in your video, tools, and then cut. It's going to give you a red bar. You would drag that bar to decide what portion you want to cut. You can play to see how your video will look with the cut. Got my annotation and do that. So it'll skip ahead for you so that you can preview that. And then if you're good with the cut, with that 9-second cut in this case, you would just click on OK. Now, what's really great about this is that, where'd she go? That was weird. It didn't show my cut line. So what you can do if something like this happens to you, I'm glad it happened to me in front of you guys. You can actually click right here on this edit history. Okay. And you can go back to the last version. So I don't see my red dotted line for the cut, and it could just be that my eyes are getting old, but I'm going to go back to after I deleted that insert by clicking on that arrow. There we go. And I just restored that portion of my video. So this is really great that your original video is never altered to the point that you can no longer restore what existed before. Okay. All right. I did hide already. I skipped ahead to that one. I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss that for you guys. And now another one that I use quite a bit is adjusting the volume. So I'm going to click on Tools and then Volume here. So you can add music and sound effects, but a lot of times we may be recording in a different location. Maybe you don't have your standalone microphone with you. Maybe you're recording on headphones today. So what you can do is you can select volume there, and you can drag that volume bar over to increase or decrease the sound of your narration. If there is computer sound playing, computer will be an option there as well. In this case, I just have my narration. And as I click the up and down button here, you're going to see my volume track, my sound track in blue increase visually on the screen. So you can literally see as I adjust that volume, you can see it get louder, right? It's growing. My volume is growing on the screen in front of me. And then you can, of course, preview that edit. And if you're satisfied with it, you can click on OK. Now, if you no longer need, again, that volume edit, you can just click right there on that volume and then click on your trash can to remove the edit on your screen. All right. So those are some of my most used edits. Really quickly, I just saw Laura ask in the chat, can you remove all background sound from recording? When you record, you do have like a noise improvement option. But you can also remove all narration from the recording if you would like. And if you feel like your background sound is very loud during your recording, you can even use our narration tool to re-narrate sections of your video. Okay. All right. So let's say that I'm done with my edits. Of course, I could play in the editor all day, but I'm going to click on share and I'm going to upload this video to screenpal.com. So once I click on publish, you can change here your title. You can change the quality of your upload. I'm going to do that just as lower so that it's a little bit faster since we're here on a time crunch together. You can choose your closed captions and you can change your visibility. I don't actually have a script, so I'm going to unselect that there. Okay, and then I'm going to click on publish. Here where it says unlisted, I typically leave all of mine as unlisted. That means that nobody could search for it. They would have to have the direct link to my recording. But we have a public option and there's a password protected option. And if you are on a team plan, you will have a team user option there as well. So I'm going to click on publish, and this is going to upload my video to screenpal.com. Okay. Is there anything, Ben, that you see in the chat that maybe I missed that I need to do in the editor?
I don't think so. There's still a couple questions I need to catch up on.
Okay.
Um, there's a few folks that asked about copying a section and using it for a different project. Otherwise, I think you're okay to jump to our online side.
Okay, cool. So my video is uploaded to ScreenPal. So I'm going to click on OK here. And you may be thinking, where did that video go? Great question. Where that went is to my browser at screenpal.com. So just like you would upload something to YouTube, you also have the option to upload to ScreenPal. So I'm going to click on my Chrome browser here, and I've already got my ScreenPal screen open. This is my home page. I've already logged in. So I'm going to click on my content. And when I click on my content, it will take a couple more seconds probably for that video to encode. But once it encodes, it will pop up here. Ooh, let me make sure. Oh, see, I uploaded it to a different account. So I'm going to log out of this one and log into that one. So you guys get to see the Google login here. There it is. So that's the video that I just uploaded to my ScreenPal.com hosting account. So what I can do from here is I can click on manage and I can generate with AI, which we'll do in just a minute. And I can even create a quiz using the video that I uploaded to screenpal.com. So another moment where I want to hear what you're excited about, what you're thinking about. If you have any feedback, we would love to hear that as well. And my question for you, before we hop into our AI features and quiz creation, is what editing feature are you most excited to use? So is it the blur overlay? Is it our highlight overlay? That is one of my personal favorites. Is it a text overlay, inserting videos, inserting pauses, cutting portions of your video, hiding the elements, adjusting the volume, or, which we'll go over a little bit more, creating a quiz? Okay. Ooh, and we've got insert video for CTA. I might be able to might be able to sneak in a little button for you there at the end, Scott, where I can show you how to do a call to action on your uploaded video as well. Okay. All right. All of the above. Good answer, Kyle. Good answer. All right. Thank you guys for participating with me so that I know that you are taking it all in and that you are still enjoying our time together today. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit of info about assigning through your learning management system. I like to let people know that this is an option. This is part of our team plan. So if you are using a learning management system and this is something that you're interested in, you can share with a URL if you're just working on a solo plan, but we do offer Gradebook Sync and LTI 1.3 integration. So you would need to reach out to our sales team, sales@screenpal.com, if you're interested in that. But you can connect ScreenPal to your LMS with LTI 1.3. We have Blackboard, Canvas, D2L Brightspace, Moodle, and Schoology. Um, what that means is you would log into your LMS, open your course or your assignment in the LMS, and then choose to add and embed ScreenPal content. So just something for you guys to keep in mind. I'm not going to go over that live with you today, but that is an option with ScreenPal, and most of our educator friends are very excited about the gradebook sync option there too. And now we're going to talk about our AI features because we're going to generate a quiz with AI in just a second. Okay. So for our AI features, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click generate with AI here. This first AI button. So just a reminder, since we kind of like answered a question and went away from my video, and I want to make sure that you know where to go. When you log into ScreenPal, it might take you to your home screen, which looks something like this. So what I'm going to click on is my folder over here, my content. And then I've got the thumbnail for this video that I just uploaded. So I'm going to click on manage. When I hover over the thumbnail, that manage button shows up. And from here, I'm going to select ScreenPal AI generate. This is going to generate a title, a summary, and captions. And audio descriptions. I should mention that as well, since I'm working on a team plan here. There we go. So there's my title, there's my summary, and there's my captions for my video. So if I want to change anything in here, like PAL does not need to be all caps. I'm not quite sure why that happened, but I just click right there into my summary box and I delete whatever needs to be changed and make those changes as I see fit. And again, it kind of did it down here too. Maybe I was just saying pal very assuredly today. So I've never had that happen. But maybe I'm just really enunciating during today's session. So I can really quickly scroll through, make sure that I don't need to make any other changes. It looks pretty decent. So I'm going to click on save to save those few changes that I made. And that's going to save those changes on my video. Okay. Now, I have a challenge for you. And sometimes this gets a little messy. So I'm hoping by how much we are responding in the chat that this will not be messy for us today. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on share video and I'm going to copy this video link. I'm going to share this video in the chat. And what I want you to do is I want you to add captions in other languages. Well, how do I do that, Sarah? Let me show you. I'm going to personally open an incognito window here and go to my video. And I have a little white arrow here, which you're going to click on. And then from this drop-down menu, you can select, oh, somebody already beat me to it and did Spanish. Good job. Oh no. Ooh, actually, Ben, that's because we have that set up, don't we? To automatically do it in Spanish. How fancy.
Yeah,
Let's
correct.
see. I'm gonna do French since I had that little three estates moment there. So you just select the language from the drop-down menu there, and it will translate those captions for you. Now, there's my captions. Okay, this is not the AI narration, but this is the captions in French. So what I can do from here, I'm going back to my video settings tab. And as an educator, once I see, I'm going to reload this page. Once I see the languages that my learners, oh, there we go. We got Albanian, Basque already. Thank you guys. Once I see the languages that my learners need, I can select to add text to speech. I can select the languages that my captions have been translated into, and then I can select a voice.
Mund në sken videon tënde nga skenariu për të ndihmuar nërve të përfshihen audiencën tënde.
I can preview that voice, and then I can generate my text to speech AI narration in that language. So I do not speak Albanian, but I can ensure that anyone who would prefer my content in Albanian to English can listen to and read as well because of the captions that in Albanian. Now, what's really cool about this is that with our audio descriptions, if I click on AD here, it will also put my audio descriptions in the language that I chose. So if I have learners that need, all right, so this is how, if I have learners that need it in that language, then I can have audio descriptions in that language. I can have the captions in that language, and I can have the text-to-speech AI narration in that language. So you can make sure that you can reach a global audience or a global classroom, depending on the size of your audience that you have. And this AD option here is it is a toggle, so students can toggle it on and off, as well as toggling on and off the captions as needed. So if I open my incognito window again, and I still have that same link on my clipboard as a student, if I need this in a different language, I'll do it in Spanish since it's already on there. And I press play.
Muy bien, así es como se usa nuestro grabador.
So I've got my narration in Spanish, and I can also turn on my audio descriptions.
En el lado izquierdo, enmarcado por un borde morado y rojo.
And you can see there on the screen, it says audio description playing.
En el lado izquierdo, enmarcado por.
So it's
Muy bien,
playing that
así es.
audio description for me in Spanish as well. So as a student, I can toggle to a different language. I can turn the captions off if they are visually distracting for me. And I can also toggle on and off those audio descriptions. So that's available for everyone to utilize as they need. A couple of things for this. Let's see. In the chat, it looks like, does the student select the language? Can you have more than one? Yes, as I joked yesterday during our webinar with Dan Fitzpatrick, it's one link. So I go to the same video link and I can toggle this on and off. What it will do for students though, so if I'm a student that mainly learns in French or mainly in Spanish, it will generate the captions. It'll show the captions right away in that language, not generate. It will show them the captions in that language based on their browser settings. So if I had my Chrome browser set in Spanish, it would show me the captions in Spanish. And then I could still click here on the closed caption menu and change to a different language as needed. Oh, and you guys understood the assignment. I see all of these languages populating here. So thank you so much. Now, what is on the instructor, the trainer, the teacher is adding that text-to-speech AI narration. So Sabina asked, and I hope you don't mind me pronouncing it that way, Sabina, but you said you were German. So she asked to add German. So I'm going to do add text-to-speech. And what's really cool about this, and I'm glad that I chose German here, is that we even have locales. So if you are in Canada and you want Canadian French, you can select French and select Canadian French from this drop-down menu here. But we will do Deutschland German here. And I'm going to click on Serafina and then generate. So what I love to do, because I do training that ends up being global, just like you guys see, there's people from all over the world in our Getting Started webinar today, is that I like to let people select the languages and then I will go through and add the text-to-speech AI narration based on the languages that my attendees have selected during that day's training. So I'll go on and generate that as I go through. All right, so we looked at generating with AI.
Sarah, can I just
Yeah,
jump in real quick?
absolutely.
So we've had some people ask, and they're really good questions, about all the languages you're generating, both the captions and the audio.
Hmm.
I just want everyone to understand that that's all built into that player that Sarah is showing you. So that is ScreenPal's video player, and those are being associated with that. What that means is if you then plan to download the video or export it so that you can put it on YouTube or on some other host site, there's going to be some restrictions. So you can't generate 50 languages here and then export all of those languages combined and upload it somewhere else. So I believe when you download it, it downloads it with one language. It's not going to download it with all of that. So just bear that in mind. It's really nice that it's all in one embed or link, but that's because it's built into the ScreenPal player here.
Right. And what you can do is you can again click on share video. I shared the direct link, but we also have an embed option here. So you can embed this exact video player on your website, in your module, in your course. You can still do that, right? So if you want access to all of these AI features for your learners, you can still embed that video with all of those languages elsewhere. They don't necessarily have to come to screenpal.com. You can embed this player on your website. So just keep that in mind too. So you just click on share video and you've got the option to share the link, which would then open the watch page like I shared with you guys in the chat, or you've got the embed code that you can pull here as well. All right, I want to create a quiz really quick before we run out of time together. So I'm going to click here on interaction tools. Okay, and I think it was Scott that I promised a CTA button too. If you want to hang on after the training, I'm happy to show that to you. But that is located here. That just is like if you've ever watched a YouTube video and they say, click here to subscribe, and they have a floating subscribe button above their head. That's a great way to share additional links during or at the end of your video. But what I'm going to do is select Create Quiz, and I'm going to leave the title as is. Click on Create Quiz here. And then all I have to do is, and let me actually go back and do it in English only so I can make sure the questions are correct. I will not be quick enough to do that in German today. Here we go. Let's reload her. Yep, I will not read it that quickly. I apologize for that. And then I'm going to do generate quiz questions. So I clicked on interaction tools, the tab right there on my video editor, not my video editor, on my video management screen. And just that easy, I clicked a button and now I have 5 questions to go along with my video. Now you might be thinking, we know, Sarah, it's really cool, but like AI isn't perfect. So obviously we need to make changes. Well, thankfully we thought ahead and you can make changes to these questions. So if I personally don't love a select all that apply question, which is what this first one here is. I've got multiple answers that can be correct. So what I can do is I can click on those 3 dots. I can click the word edit. I can leave it at the 41-second mark. Which tools are available in the annotation toolbar? Maybe I just change this to which tool is not available in the toolbar. And sound effects are not available. A ruler is not available either. So see, AI does also make mistakes, but we can do, let's see, eraser. We had a text box, and we could change this one maybe to shapes. Okay. And then I just want to uncheck allow. Oh, y'all have already started taking that quiz. Go you. Allow multiple answer selections. I just want to uncheck that. And one of my favorite little known options is this add feedback to question. So here where it says correct answer, I could say like, thanks for paying attention. And then where it says incorrect answer, I could say, please open your drawing tools to check again. Okay, and then I click on save. And so if people answer that correctly, it'll say thanks for paying attention. And if people answer it incorrectly, it'll give them that quick little feedback, that little sentence that I put in there so that you can immediately remediate any of that knowledge that is not being gathered by your learners. And then, of course, all of these other questions I could edit as well. Maybe if you like 4 answer choices, or if you need less than 3 answer choices, you can change all of those. And you can add custom questions. So if you're like, I'm okay with these 5 questions, but I really want to add a rating question at the end because this is maybe a training for adult learners, and I want to make sure that they felt like their time was respected and that this training was valuable. So I could do at the end of the video here, and I could say on a scale of, let's say 1 to 10 stars, how valuable was this training? And then here I would just change my scale to go up to 10. I can allow my viewers to skip the question or allow optional comments. So I could say, if you rated this training with less than 5 stars, that's less than a 50 in my mind, please explain why. Okay, and then I would click on save. So they'll have the option at the end of the video, and you can see this one's at the end of the video as well. So if I want to change the order of that, I just click on those 3 dots and I can say move down or move to bottom. And then that question will appear after question number 5 at the end of my training video. Now, to share out this quiz with my learners, I would click on assignment and settings. I've got this set to remain anonymous. If you have, if you're collecting something for a grade, if you will, or it's a compliance training and you need proof that everybody completed the compliance training, you can click ask your audience to enter information and have them enter first and last name. I'm going to leave it as anonymous for now in case anybody wants to take it. And quick draw of your cell phone, if you want to take the quiz, you can actually scan this QR code and get started taking the quiz right there on your mobile device. So it's just that easy for me to share out that quiz with you guys so that you can take that quiz and I can gather some formative assessment data to see where my learners have inconsistencies and where they may need extra support. And then here, I'm going to share it in the chat as well, just so that it's there for you guys. All right. Cool. All right. Okay. And that is our quiz feature. So my last little question for you here with our AI stuff, if you will, is before I give you your survey, which AI feature are you most excited to use? Is it title, summary, captions, and chapters, translate captions with AI, audio descriptions, or creating a quiz with our AI quiz generator? And you can respond in the chat on that one if you would like. And I know some of you guys probably need to run. So as you are typing in those responses, I'm going to go on and bring up our certificate of completion. So if you will scan this QR code, you can quickly take a survey that just gives us some data on what we can improve for our next webinar. And if you would like webinars on specific topics, we would love to hear that too. We use these results to influence our decisions for where our webinars go from here. And also, if you want to share any updates to the actual product that you would like to see, we would love to share those with our product team as well. And then Ben, would you mind just sharing the link for that in the chat for me? I'm going to leave the QR code up here in case anybody is scanning on their phone. So all you have to do to scan, if you've never scanned a QR code, is just open the camera application on your phone. You should be able to try to zoom in on that QR code and it will let you open it in a browser window. Okay, but that is it. And Ben just shared the presentation in the chat there. So if you need a link to the presentation, you can gather that. And that is it for our training today. So thank you for joining us. 2 minutes early. There we go. So thank you guys so much. Make sure that you fill out that form so that you can get the certificate of completion. Thank you. Thanks for being my support, Ben, in the chat there. And
No
I can show
problem.
you the button now, but I am gonna stop my recording. If anybody wants to stick around,